So finally next week we're going to be getting our Gohan and Piccolo episode. I'm actually really excited to see where Piccolo is going to improve and also Gohan, but I want to save that for next week. So this episode concludes Goku trying to convince 17 in joining him. And overall, this episode, I know many are going to be complaining about it for a lot of reasons. For one, because it's a very slice-of-life-ish episode, and it doesn't really contain any action. And I know many are quick to point out when it comes to these type of episodes in Dragon Ball Super, even Dragon Ball Z, that it's boring, and they want to see action 24/7, which I can kind of understand on that front, because Dragon Ball Z is, you know, a fighting series. However, as I've said many times, many times in the past, I like episodes that are slice of life, because it reminds me of the original Dragon Ball, and it reminds me that, you know, it's not always about action. You can see character interactions, how they exchange with each other, like what they want to say, and also just to see some good characterization / development, and that's kind of what, you know, this was about. It was also like a bonding episode between 17 and Goku. However, I do have to admit, if there is one thing I do have to say, and I will be honest here, this episode could have definitely have been handled in probably half of the time, because of the overall concept of it. I will admit that. Even though I personally enjoyed it, I do admit that it felt like this episode was extended a little bit too long to try to reach that 20-minute mark, but overall, I don't really necessarily have a problem with it, but I understand why many would say it felt like it was just spread too thin because of the whole point of the episode. And I don't know how many are going to interpret this scene like I did, but I kind of want to point it out, and it's just kind of how I view it. So you know that scene in this episode to when the person that was trying to steal the animals and all that, and 17 and Goku were trying to stop him? He holds up, you know, a remote and all that, and he's like, you know, I'm gonna blow up. I'm gonna blow myself up, and everything will, you know, blow up. Everybody will die. And Goku and 17 would be obviously fine. But overall, though, you know, the animals would die, and the whole point of being there would be rendered, you know, pointless. And so, obviously, they didn't really do much at all. And when you saw him pull this out, 17, he was just giving a stare. He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything at all. He just gave this deadpan stare as you're just staring at this dude, and he didn't do anything at all. And I don't know if, you know, this scene was trying to reference the previous exchange between 17 and Dr. Zero or not, but that's exactly what the scene reminded me of. We gotta remember this, okay? Let's go back to when 17 and 18 were first introduced in Dragon Ball Z. We found out that Dr. Zero deactivated them, and then he had to reactivate them because of, you know, Goku and his friends and all that being there. Goku wasn't actually there at the moment, but, you know, everybody was there to, you know, stop Dr. Zero, and so Dr. Zero had to activate 17 and 18, which, in result, they didn't like being, you know, constantly deactivated, so they snatched the remote from Dr. Zero, they killed him, broke the remote. And as we know, 17, he doesn't really like that. He doesn't like being controlled. He doesn't like having someone, you know, holding the reins to him, what he can do, or having a remote that says, like, you can or cannot do this. And when he saw 17 not say anything, and he was just staring at this man, I feel like the way 17 was acting so obedient towards this dude was probably because he was remembering what Dr. Zero did with the remote, and he knows how powerful probably remotes can be, and that's probably why he stood the fuck back. So that was very interesting. I don't know if that scene was trying to reference that or not, and maybe it was trying to let us know more about Android 17's personality and why he just didn't do anything in that scene, but overall, I found it very interesting how he just stood there, looked at the dude, didn't really say anything at all, but then he charged the man, acting like he was gonna, like, end himself or whatever, just fly off into space, but then everything, you know, ended out working out because Goku saved him. Just the point I'm getting at is that I felt like that scene had a message towards the previous introduction of 17 and 18, and I really liked that scene. There was a lot of little reminders of Dragon Ball Z throughout this episode, and I do appreciate that. I mean, even the scene to when Goku uses instant transmission to teleport the dude that supposedly can blow himself up to King Kai's planet, that was a callback to Cell. And I mean, Goku even, you know, mentioned Cell in that scene, and I'm like, oh my god, I feel so bad for King Kai, because Goku, like, you, seriously, I feel so bad for King Kai. This poor man helps you out so much. He talks with you, he feeds you, and you straight up bring, like, bombs to his planet just for it to blow up and probably kill him. Like, what the fuck, Goku? Like, you have hurt King Kai so much, it's unreal. Like, Goku has literally killed King Kai. He legit killed King Kai. He blew up King Kai's planet, and he killed King Kai. And then all of this, once again, Goku brings another dude that has supposedly a bomb inside of him. Goku didn't know it was fake, but he brought him there regardless because, obviously, he didn't know where else to go. That's kind of fucked up. Just throwing King Kai under the bus like that. Like, oh my god. I feel bad. I feel so bad for King Kai. This man is always getting fucked over by Goku, and just seeing how Goku did that to this man just brought this guy here, even if he didn't have a bomb. The point still stands is Goku brought him there because he was probably going to explode, and I just, King Kai, the way he was freaking out and all that, that's just like, oh my god, like, really, Goku? You would do that to this man again? Like, again? Like, you would do it again? Like, this man's already died in the Cell Saga. I mean, you do it, yo, like, that's, yeah, that's some crusty shit. That's really freaking crusty. Okay, so, 17 and Goku's convo, just them talking, like, the chemistry with these characters. I didn't think that these two would get along so well, and, I mean, when 18 pointed out, when she was talking to Krillin, like, they both have an immature side to them, I'm like, now, thinking back, she does have a good point. I mean, 17 did have a very childish side to him. We know for a fact he did. I mean, look how he always wanted to have fun or whatever. Well, we saw that side to him constantly throughout, you know, the Cell Saga. And seeing this from 18, her saying that, and then thinking about it, I'm like, they both are similar in some ways. It's kind of shocking when you think about it. They would definitely be those type of guys to just chill and have fun or whatever, and just do some immature things. It feels like those two characters would definitely get along, and I also like the little nod from Goku as well, how he says constantly throughout his journey, throughout Dragon Ball Z, and then now Super, he's constantly encountered people that were his enemy at first, but then turned into good guys and helped him out. I mean, look, we have, you know, Tien, Piccolo, Vegeta, now, you know, Android 17, Boo. I mean, we've had a lot of characters that have, you know, started off as enemies, but then turn into, you know, good guys as the series progressed, and I just like that little nod. Goku saying, like, this is what happens and all that. Sometimes, you know, we let bygones be bygones. We can work together, and we don't need to try to stab each other or kill each other. We can be friends and train or have fun, and that's kind of what Goku was trying to point out to 17. Like, even though you were designed to kill me, that was your entire purpose, it doesn't mean we can't be friends now, because time has passed, you're no longer tasked to do that, we can do whatever we want. And it was just kind of Goku saying, like, yeah, I've had a lot of enemies, but then they turned to good guys, and now look, they're like some of my best buds. I mean, Piccolo, Vegeta, Tien, I mean, perfect examples right there. I mean, even Boo as well. So yeah, I mean, episode overall for Dragon Ball Super this week, it was a good episode. I mean, like I said, it had some problems. I do think that there was some conflict that felt a little bit forced in this episode, especially when it came to Goku not grabbing the remote. I can understand 17, which I don't know if that's what he was thinking. I'm just assuming so because of his previous experiences with, you know, a deactivation remote. But Goku overall should have been easily able to grab that remote from this dude and just snatch it. Even 17 as well, but the point stands is that it felt like some of the conflict in this episode was forced just to extend the time, and at the end of the day, I guess we're gonna have to live with that. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but I'm still glad to see 17 finally join the squad, and see Goku and him have, you know, just a nice good combo throughout the episode. So, I can live with it, but yeah, like I said, there was some obvious problems. Art animation, that's something I want to kind of dive into. Art animation, it was okay. It wasn't as good as the previous episodes, I will admit that, and that's a given too because of what type of episode this was. Usually when it comes to these type of series and all that, when it revolves around action or whatever, usually the art and animation kind of degrades in quality and slice-of-life-ish episodes, and then it really ramps up in quality to the very important episodes that have a lot of action and all that. So I can understand why the art and animation department of this episode probably degraded a little bit, but it wasn't too bad that it kind of ruined the episode for me, so no problem there. But anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.